the Serpent Elevate RTA from Suck My Mod and Wotofo. Let's have a look. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this. This is the Serpent Elevate RTA from Matt Culley at Suck My Mod, who has collaborated with Wotofo to make this RTA. The Serpent line of tanks, very, very interesting indeed. Some really cool ones in the past. Big fan of several of them previously. This is the latest one off the line. This is a top airflow RTA, single coil, 24mm wide. 3.5mm capacity with the straight glass, 4.5mm capacity with this bubble glass. Goon fitting tips, 24mm wide at the base. A very interesting RTA. Vaping a bit like this. And that is just at 44 watts. Let's go down low. I'll show you this up close, really close, and I'll also wick it as well so you can see how I am wicking this. Maybe help you if you're getting one of these. Then we'll come back up top for pros and cons of this RTA. See you in a sec. Okie dokie, here we are down low with the Serpent Elevate from Wotofo and Suck My Mod, Matt Culley, Suck My Mod. There we go, here it is. Sorry, it's the black one, so it doesn't look as quite as sexy on camera, but this is it nevertheless. This is it with the bubble glass on and with the additional 810 tip that it comes with, which is a shiny red one, which I'm quite enjoying, to be honest. Much prefer this tank with the bubble glass on. I will talk about that up top. Yeah, but there we go. So we got our 810 tip up top. All the 810 tips fit absolutely fine. Wotofo Serpent Elevate underneath, as you can see. It does dome out a bit here, does fan out a bit here. You can see it's a top airflow as well. That adjusts like this, like that, and obviously it is double-sided. There we go. The top bit here, the top cap, unscrew this, and that is your top fill in there. Stick your juice in there, no issues with that whatsoever. Top filling fine. And then we get into it. Then we get into this beast. As you can see, nice protruding 510 pin. And here we are. Here we go. This is it. So this is the deck. I really like this deck. I think it's very sensible. It's not spectacular, it's not mind-blowing, it's just very sensible. You drop in a coil down into a postless deck. As you can see, it's got 4 holes, so you can, whatever orientation you like to do your coils, that is absolutely fine. Yeah, you're just dropping them in. The leg length I've been going for is about 5mm on here. You're sticking them in like that, and then you're putting your cotton in. So let's wick this up. Okay, so let's get wicking this. Get my scissors out. It's quite refreshing, this tank, in a lot of ways in terms of wicking, because it actually takes quite a bit of cotton. You know, so many of these tanks recently, they've been requiring such a slither of cotton. It's quite nice that with this one I can kind of just stuff it in, which is really cool. Basically what you're doing with the cotton is, and it does depend on how many watts you want to do, but you will get the knack straight away. So what you're doing is you're placing it down here and just tucking it in a little bit, like this. I do have slightly too much cotton going on here. I'll put it in the middle of the screen, that'll help. But basically you're just tucking it in there like that, and you're literally just tucking it into here. And I do recommend tucking it into there, or else I find it wicks too fast if I don't, for how I want to vape it, 40 watts. So yeah, just tuck it in there. You don't want any really coming down here, you don't really want any in there or anything like that. Let's just try and thin this out a bit better this time on this side. The length doesn't look too far off, but there's way too much cotton on each side. There we go. So if I go with this side, there's another one of these that might be easier. Slightly too long here. Slightly too long, there we go. It might be one of these that's easier to juice up first, you know. But there we go. That looks a bit neater now. Looks a bit better. So let's push this in. I'll try and do it facing you guys. But basically, you're just tucking it in the bottom here, and I really like it. I really like the way it does that. It means you can have all your cotton straight and just tuck them in. I'm going to juice it up and tidy it up a bit more. But yeah, there you go. Let's go with the honey and cinnamon Danish from Just Add Nick. Start juicing this puppy up. So yeah, absolutely nothing to the coiling and wicking really. You're just going straight down these two big channels and happy days. Straight down the channels. Your coil drops in about 5mm. Mine's a 3mm ID. That seems to be working perfectly for this tank. I'm really happy with this build, and I'm really happy with 40 watts on this thing, you know, like this. So now it's juiced up, you can kind of see a little bit better what it's doing. But yeah, that's how I've been doing it, and the performance in terms of, you know, wicking has been absolutely superb like this. So there we go. We'll put our tank section back on. No issue there with that. There's no tricks or catches or anything like that with that. And then we're going to stick our juice back in. Okay, so it's one of these where, you know, you stick your juice in, but you can't fill it too fast. It does go a bit crazy if you try and do it too fast. But no, it's working absolutely fine. You can see the juice rolling around in there, and that's going to wick like an absolute beast. Let me stop shadowing the whole thing. That's going to wick like an absolute beast in there. So let's take it up top and vape on it, talk on it a little bit more. See you in a sec. Okay guys, that was the Serpent Elevate Down Low. Really interesting RTA, right in my wheelhouse, right in my style of vape. I love the 25 to 45 watt vape. I absolutely love that area. I love single coil RTAs, as you know, as well. So this is for me. This tank is definitely in the area that I would like, I would be interested in, I would purchase if you know, if I didn't get things sent to me all the time. So that's that definitely makes it a very interesting review for me. Other thing I want to point out straight off the bat with this is Matt Culley, Suck My Mod, who's co-designed this with Wotofo, is someone I consider a friend. Is someone I talk to quite frequently, met several times at Vape Expos in Birmingham. Someone I consider a friend. He actually he gave me this tank at Expo by hand, and that's why I've had it a little bit longer than some of the other reviewers, to be honest. But yeah, he gave it to me. We had a chat. Spoke to him several times. I talk online with him as well. He's someone I consider a friend, so maybe you could argue that this review is not completely subjective, or maybe in some way, you know, subconsciously biased. So do bear that in mind when watching this review. That being said though, I do have a couple of negatives, a couple of standout negatives for this tank. Firstly, this is not a negative, but it is always worth bearing in mind, is this the right style of vape for you? Is this what you vape like? Single coil, you know, there's no way of putting a dual coil in here that I can see. It's very much a single coil tank, so is that right for you? The wattage ranges, I think there are better RTAs below 20 watts, and I think there are better RTAs over 50-60 watts as well. So, you know, again, it's in that margin. So is that a right tank for you? Beyond that though, I do have a couple of real negatives to point out. The straight glass. With the straight glass, I find this thing almost impossible to see my juice level. There's something about the straight glass and how close it is to the barrel and how like frosted and dark it is. I'm looking at it and I just can't tell how much juice I've got in my tank. I actually found it really frustrating, that first tank on the straight glass before moving over to the bubble glass. It was really weird. I also felt it looked like it was really like fighting to get the juice through and get the air out. It's all very, very compact with that single glass, with the straight glass, sorry. So it looks like it's struggling to wick. I didn't actually have any performance issues, but the bubbles were like getting massive and getting stuck and all that sort of thing, and I just could not tell how much juice I had in there. And so I really didn't like the straight glass. I strongly recommend using the bubble glass anyway to get that extra capacity, but very much so on this tank, because the straight glass I was finding it really weird, bizarre to look at. I couldn't work out what was going on in there. So that was that. With the bubble glass, my one negative with the bubble glass is it's kind of PMMA plastic, and I already have a few friends that have got this and theirs broke through cleaning them with too hot water, or one just cracked when they dropped it. So it's a slight negative that this isn't actually glass. I'm gonna have to count that as a slight negative, because obviously I already know people that have already broken theirs, so and they're absolutely good. So yeah, that's a slight negative. Definitely something to bear in mind. Wash it with cold water. Be very careful with this tank, because it is just plastic. It is just plastic, that tank section. So do be careful with that. That's a slight negative I've got to throw out there. Beyond that, though, it is all good. All good. I am loving the vape on this tank. It's so tasty. It's so dense. It's flavoursome, cloudy. Even for a single coil, that is putting out some serious cloudage at just 40 watts. Really enjoying the way this thing vapes. Honestly, great flavour. Really nice, dense, thick, tasty clouds. Really loving that vape. Also, for a top airflow tank, there's no turbulence at all. It's really smooth draw. It's a really smooth draw, and I really like it. It doesn't feel any friction. You're not feeling the hole. It's going up and down and around, and you're not getting any of that. It's really smooth, nice vape. I've got it wide open, and it just feels right to me. It just feels like spot on for how I like to vape. 44 watts, nice little juice in here. A big single Clapton, as you saw down low. Oh, it's a great vape. Absolutely great vape. The deck is super simple, couldn't be easier. Just drop your coils in, tighten them up. You're looking at a leg length of around 5mm. Feel free to experiment and play, but that is what I'm using, about 5mm leg length on there. Wicking is pretty simple as well, as you saw down low. You're sticking it through, that you're keeping them longer than you normally would expect to, but you're keeping those lengths of cotton down there, thinning them out, trimming them down, poking them in, and just poke them in, just tuck them in like tucking a t-shirt in a pair of jeans. Just tuck them in a little bit, just so it's all nice and straight and neat, and it creates that little barrier there for the juice to stop it flooding out. This thing wicks very fast, very, very fast indeed. I just can't stop dragging on it. This is my favourite thing that Matt's done, I think, by miles. I think it is such a good upgrade on the SMM tank. The main thing is just how it vapes, isn't it? That's the number one thing. And for me, at 40 watts with this coil, it is vaping absolutely superbly, and I'm really enjoying it. Really, really enjoying it. I think it's a great tank. Definitely check it out. Bear in mind what I said about the glass, the fact that it's not glass. If you work in a job where you're knocking your mods and you have to be a bit rough with them, maybe it's not a great tank in that respect. I already know a couple of people whose theirs have broke, so yeah, that's a slight negative, and I did have to point that out. But beyond that, it's all positive. Great deck, great flavour, great airflow, great build quality. It's Wotofo, so you get a full range of colours available. It's very affordable, it's very well made. You get nice extras with these drip tips as well. Straight glass, bubble glass, all that good stuff. I think it's a cracking tank overall. I think it's really good. Just that one standout little niggle, if you like. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you've got one of these or you're getting one of these. Like and subscribe if you've not already, and I'll see you on the next review. Stay tuned. Cheers.